gentlemen, the queen of spoken word, Sunni Patterson.
This is for those who work 25 hours a day for 24 cents an hour. It's for those who trod the street stress heavy, their feet strapped with anguish, backs bent with burden. It's for those who live between the lines of fear and confusion. It's for those whose eyes have witnessed a sunrise and they still question the awesome power of a supreme being. It's for those against the wall, or in the dust, or behind the bars, or on the other side of the barrel. It's for those who do not see God in the mirror, or a tree, or a blade of grass, a homeless man, a crescent moon, a drop of dew, a ray of sun, or a purple sky. It is for those who have given up on life and just wonder how they are still allowed to open their eyes real wide in the morning. And I say to you, it is not yet time to die. For seekers of a better way, for speakers of new words, for creators of another day, awake from your slumber, massive in number, as brave as thunder, as courageous as hope, as audacious as faith. I see heaven in your face. How does it feel just knowing that wherever you go, the holiest of holies is present in the form of you? This is for you. It's for your worth. It's nothing less than divine. I say this for all of those who survive, who get up, who scream, even when the takers try and zap their dreams, who shout no, who cry yes, who feel the glory of victory boiling in their chests. It's for the lovers of love, for thinkers of peace, for workers of justice, field hands of freedom, whose voices ring high when vibrations are low. It's for the tillers of the earth and the seeds they sow grow big, grow long, grow up, grow high. Rise and take your stands, because it is not yet time to die. Now, this is also for Tevin Flowers. Tevin Flowers was a little boy who was 7 years old, and his body was found dangling from a coat hook in his school's bathroom. Or this is for Juan, because Juan was 8 years old. Juan was forced to eat his own vomit inside a Mississippi penitentiary for juveniles. Or this is for 17-year-old youth, because 17-year-old youth live in such a state of lack and limit that they give up before they even start. But you know, children only do what children are taught. It's like it's 3 strikes against them before their feet touch the land, and then they move through this life without a choice or a chance. But I ask sincerely, who's sitting in this room will be a voice when the sticky fingers of fear grip the throats of the people, and words as beautiful as freedom or justice or love never quite make it to their tongues, and they are stuck choking and gasping for breath on a coulda or a shoulda till there is nothing more left. But I am here like thousands of miles way up in the air, turning clouds into flowers, since the ones down bottom lie limp and unwatered in unsafe schoolhouses where cowards become heroes and the heartless are given power, and the only thing that matters is the making of a dollar. Really, who's sitting in here is going to speak, huh? Who will stand in this hour? Who will protect our babies against the system that devours? Can you imagine? Picture the nastiest animal mixing poison in a cauldron. Then we let them feed our youth, and before you know it, they in a coffin or a jail, or their cells become altered in their eyes. It's like their eyes only begin to see destruction. Heaven help us. Please show us. May we learn how to repent for all the hypocrisy and negligence we've shown to our children. Really, who's sitting in here will serve? Okay. Who can tell that there is light? Who will tell of a precious dawn that follows the onyx night? And when you say it, will you feel it? Will you really believe with all your might that every flower is sacred, that every future is bright? I'm asking who? Who in here will help? Who will prune and water the garden? Because if you're not a part of the solution, then you must be. From Memphis, Tennessee, Bria Brown.
I found her picture in an email months ago. I didn't say anything. Every once in a while, I log in and look at them over and over, trying to figure out what it is about her, never saying a word. I wonder if she knows that I know. I wonder if she saw me, would she be able to look me in my face? I wonder if she knows his last name or how he spells his first one or pronounces the middle. I wonder if she knows how much me and him look alike. I mean, how we make the same faces and do the same gestures and talk with the same inflection. I wonder if she knows how much of his scent is really my perfume. That his body told me about her before his mouth ever did. That he's never been good at secrets. I wonder if she's ever been in love. If she's ever loved herself. If she even cares. I wonder if she knows what it's like to be cheated on. To have done nothing wrong, to have stayed in your lane, to have played by the rules. Tell me, why are you fucking my man? I type out in all caps, bold letters, Times New Roman, backspace, backspace, backspace. I wonder if she knows that I taught him. Does she know that he ain't no shit before he knew me? Does she know that it's hard to find a good man, and that it's even harder to know when you have one, when even good men fuck up, when even good men make mistakes, when even good men were once bad boys, and sometimes it takes them longer to grow out of their bullshit. I wonder if she knows what patience is, what mercy is, what forgiveness is, and how bad all that shit hurts. I wonder if she ever seen him pray. Has she ever seen him cry out to the universe, demanding it move his fucking troubles out the way? I wonder if she knows how deep his forest gets, how dark and damp it can be, how sometimes you need people to walk with you, even when it gets hard, especially when it gets hard, because life can be scary and growth can be complicated when everyone's journey is different, when everyone doesn't learn to love the same. I wonder if she knows what it's like to stay. To compartmentalize your pain in order of what's important, when understanding settles your emotions, but not your stomach, to deal with insecurities after the bills, because tears ain't ever kept the lights on. I wonder if she knows that love is keeping my lights on. That love has to be taught and practiced. That love has a bigger picture. That my love has a bigger picture. That my love has plans and goals, and how none of them involve her. Thank you.
Recently, New Orleans pulled down some of its Confederate statues. One of the brave voices leading the way was a scribe called Quess. He's an educator and an activist who uses his voice to bring awareness to social injustices and to bring truth to the people.
Welcome, I'm Casa de la Quess. The boys, you are cooking raw with the Brooklyn Ball down here in New Orleans, in the 7th Ward, in my lovely home. Put together some pumpkin spice apple pancakes and all that loveliness. Making myself a little brunch when I'm enjoying downtime and I'm not out in the streets doing what I'm doing, or in the school buildings doing what I'm doing, or at your local open mic or show doing my thing. I like to be at home, you know, cooking it up and enjoying my downtime. So yeah, I moved into this crib about a year ago. There's no place like home. That's a real thing. There's nothing like having your own little piece of the world you can just kind of cut out for yourself, particularly when, you know, the public don't always create that kind of space for you, you know what I mean? So the kind of work I've done in the community has been specifically around the removal of white supremacist symbols that very much present the culture and the history of the majority of the people in the city, right? This is like a 65% African-American city, and yet we have monuments to people that enslaved their ancestors. Around my house, I like to think of that not only as like a reprieve and a getaway and all of that, but also my own little museum, my own little art gallery for the things that I don't like to necessarily take down, but like to build up, you feel me? So you'll see art from some local artists that represent images of black beauty, black love, black empowerment, black community, what have you, because that's what I'm about, you know, so.
From New Orleans, a scribe called Quess.
So, I'm touring the Texas state capitol. My small brown body cast against the canvas of tall white coliseums, them things was reaching back centuries. I'm dwarfing in the bleached shadows of their history, where small brown bodies like mine were but minor details in the portrait of American destiny, manifest only in the margins, as footnotes on the pages of recorded history. But right now, Right now, my thoughts are of Brianna. Brianna of light Latina hue and American college girl humor. She is a walking library of white supremacist mythology trapped in a mausoleum of mestizo-skinned Brianna. Knowledgeable tour guide who just walked me and some 30 visitors through the pristine halls of the state capitol. The jokes, they glint off of her tongue with irony. Her commentary, it clashes with her culture as she speaks of Texas history in the possessive. We were defeated in the Battle of the Alamo in 1836, she says. We rallied back 6 weeks later and won the Battle of San Jacinto, thereby founding the great state of Texas, she continues. And I keep trying to figure out how she manages to fit all her light brown me inside of all that western white we, how she can so easily miss memories of moccasin shoe mamas beneath the steel toes and steers of Lone Star boots now walking across the marble floors of her oppressor's history as she speaks. There's a festival going on the front lawn of the Capitol. Her voice struggles to be heard above the booming bass lines of reggaeton rhythms blaring from the speakers outside. And I can't help but wonder if the cognitive dissonance inside her head doesn't blare just as loudly. There are women, many of them of Brianna's hue, dancing to her people's music. I think they're doing Zumba or the Macarena or something that English words fail to do justice. And I'm struggling to see how she fails to see the injustice in the story she's been paid to propagate. And can she hear her ancestors' rebuttal thumping through the drums as they echo through the halls of the Texas state capitol? Brianna, can you hear your ancestors calling? At the end of the tour, an elderly white woman asked Brianna, "What does the word Texas mean?" And she quickly replies, "It's a Caddo Indian word for friendship." And I immediately want to look up the word friendship and see if there's anything I missed. Perhaps there are etymological references to blood-splattered chieftains and trails of tears. Maybe these are key ingredients to lifelong bonds and I'm the oblivious one. Or maybe Texas, like Louisiana, like Charlottesville, like America, is just a really fucked up friend. The kind that vice grips your bones and its handshake into the bones are ground to dust and the remains are left to mix with the blood and sweat of capital gains to form the watered down colors that they use to paint the monuments to their greatness. They'll shade you into their shadows, etch your name into the edges of their borders as footnote, loser of the battle, vanquished, full-term mascot, misguided tour guide through the halls of another man's history. Never is foundation, is keeper of this land before a hostile takeover, is blood rights to this ground before oil rape. Texas, if you are friendship, then what do I call my enemies?
From Mobile, Alabama, Lady Tess.
Letter to the daughter that I was too afraid to give birth to. I am sorry. Cowardice rusted my steel vertebrae. It turned the undertone of my belly's sunset yellow. You were a warming winter fire that I crushed long before ignition. I know now that you would have been a beautiful collage of love and light, but I snuffed you out before your first smile. You innocent child, they told me that you would feel nothing. They told me that at 7 weeks you were nothing more than tissue and undefined sinew, but you came to me in a dream. Confessed your love to your mother in the form of a poem. I couldn't recognize salvation, the purest of forms, so I Pontius piloted you. I washed my hands of you, delivered you into this angry mob of eugenicists. I should have been a soldier. I should have been your titan that was willing to protect. But at 35 years old, I feel like nothing more than a broken vet. Sometimes you can still find me shell-shocked in corners at the sound of a vacuum curette, because if you are anything like your mother, I know you kicked before they drained you into that cold crypt of a jar. I am sorry. They told me you would feel nothing. They said the Valium would kill your nerve, but what it did was kill my will to live, because for years I didn't give dawn a passing glance. I wouldn't give daybreak a second chance, because every daybreak gave way to a dance that mommy did not invite you to, baby. They took your feet first, snatched you out backwards from your safe haven, and I am sorry because I was terrified. When I told your father of your impending arrival, his face showed me how dark the other side of the moon could be. I am sorry that both of your parents turned out to be cowards. We drafted you off into this war on overpopulation where your dismembered limbs will become shrapnel. Your silent screams will become ammo in this war on overpopulation. Society's undesirables. In that morning, I became a Nazi. I had a swastika tattooed upon my navel. I declared my womb a death camp because what you don't know is they had to go back in and breach me twice. They had to go back in and receive a portion of the broken skull they left behind. And ever since then, parts of me have been as broken as your weary limbs. And I'm sorry. I am sorry you had to swim in the dark and treacherous waters of my insecurity. You beautiful refugee of my indiscretion. I denied you entry at the shoreline, so I don't blame you. I don't blame you for haunting the halls of my uterus. Every fibroid ache has been a chain rattle, ectoplasmic residue of your silent screams. And here I am. 2 miscarriages later, y'all, and I'm convinced that ain't karma, it ain't coincidence. There's a metaphysical sibling rivalry. It is brewing in my room. Baby, I know you were here first. You craved your mother's attention. I had no right to play God sending angels to heaven too soon. And if this apology is marked tombstone heavy on my tongue, if this apology is marked return to sender, I do not blame you. You may think I didn't bother to name you, but baby, somewhere in my sin-coded prayers, I call you something beautiful. I call you Natalie. Natalie, you have a family, and your grandmother still prays for you. Your big brother, he would have pulled your hair and pranked you for no reason. But baby, he'd have brought down the hammer of God on your bullies. But God, I was your bully. I pickpocketed you out of your first steps. Can you ever forgive me? They told me you would feel nothing. But what they never told me is it would be years before I felt anything again. Hush, little baby, and don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if your mockingbird don't sing, then mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. But right now, hush, baby. Hush, baby, 'cause your mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Thank you.
So who's gonna come up next is one of my teachers and elders and mentors and mamas. You know, being in New Orleans, you have a bunch of mamas. When you're a community baby, you got a bunch of mamas. And this was one of my mamas. She said something, it was one time, this was years ago, but I have this poem called Faith. And Nana Anwar was something I was going through, so I have to tell you this story, right? She was going through, she as in I, was going through a bunch of things, right? And really just growing, and not knowing what to do with this growth. Though I'm, you know, how we grown, but growing, right? And going through this thing, and I kept trying to figure out, right? Why do I keep coming back to my mama's house when something happens, right? I couldn't figure it out. Like, why do I keep coming back to my mama's house? What's going on? I thought all this time, right, it was the woman of me that needed this healing, right? But then I learned, oh, I keep coming back to my mama's house because it's the child of me that needs this reassurance, right? This child of me needs this reassurance that the adult of me will make better decisions for her, right? So she, as in I, had to really go through that. So Nana Anwar was one to say to me, she may not even remember this, but she was one to say to me, oh, so you had to learn faith. You had to learn the faith that you wrote about. I said, oh my God, I guess that's the truth. Nana Anwar, can you come out, please? So she'll tell you, you know, there's sometimes there's something where it's like, well, what question will we ask or something like this, right? But in this case, it's kind of like, no. You know, she's like, and then you'll hear in a second, well, what's on my heart to say is then it'd be some, you know, like, all right, no, you're right. You go ahead and say it. So tell us, just tell us. That's all, just tell us.
I'll do it.
And don't forget the whole lease of the business and everything.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
I can do that. Thank you. Without a lot, because I know this is a production and it's so beautiful, I'm so grateful to be sitting right there, getting it all, just getting it all, and blessing my soul, your souls. So one of the things I've been sharing lately that's come to me is, y'all, everybody in here knows Dollar Tree, right? So I'm not really trying to plug them. Y'all know them, right? Okay. But you know how they sell these little signs and words on them and all wisdom or whatever words. And there's one that touches my heart, and I feel like what I have been seeing and experiencing tonight with these beautiful young people is that. And it says, in a world where you can be anything, be yourself. You know, $1, that's all I paid. And that's what you're seeing with poets, and these poets in particular. They're showing us their inner core, and it's being expressed outwardly. And I said something to them when we were in the back, that there's knowledge and there's wisdom. And I'm learning this myself. And knowledge is the stuff that we hear or study or believe from someone else. Wisdom comes from inside, you know, and it shows up in the moment. Wisdom isn't something you can prepare in a sense like a paper. You understand what I'm saying? Wisdom is that, whereas knowledge is something from the past. Somebody has produced that. Wisdom is in the moment. So if I could share one last thing. I asked Sunni 1 minute, 2 minutes, but anyway, here I am. And this is an Osho card, and later you can look it up, OSHO, on your Google, okay? In this world, hate never yet dispelled hate. Only love dispels hate. This is the law, ancient and inexhaustible. Only light can dispel darkness. Love is light, the light of your being, and hate is the darkness of your being. How is the light brought in? Become silent, thoughtless, conscious, alert, aware, awake. This is how light is brought in. And the moment you are alert, aware, hate will not be found. These are experiments to be done, not just words to be understood. Experiment with it. Try to hate somebody consciously, and you will find it impossible. Either consciousness disappears, then you can hate, or if you are conscious, hate disappears. They can't exist together. Light and darkness cannot exist together because darkness is nothing but the absence of light. Ashe. Peace.
From Chi-Town, Red Storm.
Still drifting away, mama. Everybody knows that I'm still drowning without you, because I really miss you, mama. Stage after stage, all I do is talk about her, and I wonder if she's happy. If her and daddy is up there really laughing and clapping, if they really proud at me, that I finally made this happen, and it's for you, mama. I never meant to take y'all through all that drama. I was the one with all the promise, and they tried and sacrificed through their arguments and fights. The police in the middle of the night to arrest her grandson because he was smoking the pipe. And it wasn't easy to love me, but them streets drugged me. But God took you, and then he hugged me. He said, if you'll be true, boy, I'll make it all lovely. Remember, you're my son, G. That's why I can finally see the sunshine. I walk through the darkest of times to compose my heart-filled rhymes for you. My God told me to. That's why my dreams come true, people. It's destiny. No more losing on them Chicago streets. Here comes the best of me. Yes, I'm a blessing to your world. So treasure me. Every hood feeling me, boy, we family. I'm a tragedy turned fantasy. Through all the madness, God gave me sanity. Not through poetry, they think I'm rapping. Me and Sunni was back there laughing. My mama in heaven praise dancing. She glad and I'm happy, so let every hand clap. God brought me back to lay testimony to track, trying to show you where your flaws at. And the serpent don't like that. I know change hurts. But just rewind my verse, man, and meet me in church, because he changed a leopard to a shepherd. He took an addict. He took an addict and molded me into a blessing. After all the checking from God, I didn't ask not one question, but it was hard, though, when he snatched my mom's, bro. Y'all people really don't know. When I was in my jail cell, I grabbed the towel and was ready to throw, but no. Without my mama, God knew I had nowhere else to go but to him. No one comes before him. No mother, no idol. No woman, no title. I'm still a disciple, but I got a new chief. I got my Bible now, and I'm turning a new leaf. The devil keep knocking at my door because I'm writing this new speech, but I don't really think y'all understand how transparent of a poet I am with no shame. I let all y'all see right through my $150 frame. Let you see my setbacks, my strain, my secret fears, my pain. God allows you to witness change right here on stage. The process, the progress. But of course, people gossip. I'm a prince/prophet. I done every show under the sun, but still people knock it. Take my testimony and box it. I'm a blessing, boy, so stop it. This ain't sweet. I used to break in cars just to sleep. Do I smoke or do I eat? I was plumb out my mind. I'm sharing my soul on this stage, but they be hollering, rewind, like do it again. You ain't hear me the first time, homie? I'm sharing my sins. This is my gift. I roll my pain in a spliff. I walk in here and put my name on a list and I spit. I spit like God told me to. I kill my past through you because I did a lot of bad in your world. But from a jail cell, I saw the Father and the Son. They had me caged up here like an animal. That's when my change begun. A battered man touched by a magic wand, God's grace. Turn old Pookie to a Don. See, them demons ain't calling me no more. I'm free. I'm like Joshua in your streets. I'm grateful, so I preach. I'm trying to make it up there where so many seek, beyond the clouds with my moms and my peeps. But I stay here to watch over your children that play here with my staff and rod. I'm a walking testimony of God. So witness a miracle and let your head nod to this poetry. And I thank you. As we walk your streets daily, I write to heal your crazy. Fill my pages for your Brendas with babies. Through my song, I praise thee for the brothers that so gone. Witness who made me. God took my addiction away and he saved me. Put me on stages all over the world so you can see he's amazing. Thank you.
Miami is known for some of the best hip-hop artists. But Red Riding Hood says poetry is alive in Miami and she loves to speak about issues that will free others from the daily struggles they face.
I love my city. My city this is a city of bosses. You know, Miami is as raw as it gets. You hear what I said? You know, as a poet, I'm inspired by the legends that's already done it, that's been there and done it right here in my city. You know, shouts out to the mayor, Trick Daddy. You understand? Shouts out to the legendary Luther Campbell. You know, one of the queens of Miami, Trina. You understand? Shouts out to one of the bosses. You know, this is a boss city, Rick Ross, okay? You know, this is about as real as raw as it gets. You know, this is what it is. You know, we rap hard. You see me? And right now we are in the heart of Carol City where We are at top-notch cigar lounge. I frequent here all the time. You know, even as a poet, I like to come out sometime, have a cigar, drink me some, listen, I'm a Hennessy drinker, but I like to come out and relax and have me a good time sometime. You know, we had poetry in here, you know, last year and stuff. So this is one of them places where people could come and unwind, you know, grown-ass, hood-ass people, you know, but we like to vibe and have a good time. It gets popping in here.
From Miami, Florida, Red Riding Hood.
Let's do everything but get married. Let's go out on dates around 8 for 2 weeks straight, then realize we're soulmates. Create fate based on how well we can relate, gates swinging, neither one of us thinking about what we really want from this. Light bulb, got it, let's fuck too soon and leave no room for us to get to know each other. 1 month goes by, you're already introduced to my father and mother. Both of my brothers by now were already lovers, which means covers are blown and the interest he once had is officially gone. Let's do everything but get married. Invited this man to meet your family. As if you're in blissful love, when you're in lustful bliss, your mouth introduced him to them, but what your conscience really said was this: hey, Dad, let me introduce you to the mistake I'm about to make. Hey, Mom, let me introduce you to my new boyfriend who is really just a friendly boy who never grew out of playing with his toys that will eventually end up calling me private and hanging up, calling me, and hanging up until she's woman enough to discuss with me what I didn't take time to find out, but there's just something about him that makes me want to invest in his mess. Let's do everything but get married. My kids have fun with him. We all go out to lunch and then Chuck E. Cheese. We get back to my home. He pulls out his own set of keys. Somebody please help me understand this shit. This new world order of courting just ain't the same no more when a nigga you barely even know can walk in and out your front door where our children lay their heads. He could be under investigation by the feds. Heads up, tails tucked now, because you don't even know how you allowed your comfort level to get so damn high this damn soon. Message in a bottle. He's not even a good role model for the kids. Gee whiz, bid whiz. I'm pulling Trump with this one. Let's do everything but get married. We might as well. Hell, everyone else is doing it. And I don't want to start asking questions on where this is going because I don't want to ruin it. I mean, we talk about marriage, and I guess that's close enough. See, men cringe at the thought of forever, and we know this. So women have gotten so content with halfway having a piece of man to where their demands ain't much of nothing no more. Rather be his hoe and everything he needs as long as he's saying thank you and please, scared to run him away or that he may find someone else that is okay with his temporary stay. But let's do everything but get married. I'm carrying his baby. And the negative response he gave me from the positive reaction from peeing on this stick just doesn't seem to mix well. I don't feel well. Should have thrown up the deuce when I had the chance to, but no, I've advanced to baby mama status. Should have walked out on the first date in Palm Beach on clematis, but at least now he calls me wifey because I got his child, but that's not the same as actually exchanging vows now, is it? Let's do everything but get married. We ain't got no money for no damn wedding, he says. Why are you in such a rush? She says the same reason you was in a rush to fuck and shack up, I've met your demands, so now you need to meet mine. We got kids, we live together, and I ain't trying to live like this forever without no ring. Oh, so now you conveniently bring up my mood swings during my pregnancy and use that to say that I pushed you away when what that should have done was brought you closer to me. But if we ain't getting married, then it's over for me. But she don't want that. See, she hope he's so scared to lose her that he'll just give in and steady screams, yes, we did all those things. Yes, in the first month we had sex. Yes, we end up having a baby, and that made things even more complex. But you're taking all those things out of context, and I don't give a fuck how much you reflect. Technically, I don't owe you shit because we ain't married. Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all for coming out. Peace and love. Good night.